not
Go
wearing a.
back to the one statement you said when you go to Home Depot and you're looking for the contractor. Who's that guy showing up at 6 a.m. in that nice wrap truck?
Yep.
That's the guy that you want to hire to do your contract. You don't want the guy showing up at 3 p.m. That's what we're doing in this industry, Chad, and it's changing. As a real estate agent, we have to be an iBuyer, which is a cash buyer these days. As a investor, you have to, in Texas, you can't wholesale property legally unless you are a licensed agent now.
Is that
So,
right?
yeah, they changed that a year ago. I mean, people still doing it, but if you're representing another third party on a wholesale deal, you need to be licensed now.
Hmm.
And with all this AI automation coming on, all these discount brokerages trying to take our cut, it's up to us to learn these pillars and deliver that ultimate experience.
So do you have iBuyers actively competing with you right now?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Okay, so let's back up for anyone who doesn't know what that is. A lot of us in the brokerage space, we know about it because everyone is raising hell about it. But so the iBuyers are the companies like Purple Bricks, Opendoor, Knock, Zillow, Instant Offers. They're industry disruptors. What's really fascinating about that is they've been able to raise a lot of these companies. All the ones I just mentioned have done a combination of venture capital and debt, upwards of $2 billion each. So
Yeah.
you're talking about there's almost $10 billion in capital behind this push. So it's going to disrupt the markets, and it is. And I saw a report, I think it was on Inman yesterday, and they're just looking at MLS. But Zillow, investor, those iBuyers started to cut in. They took 11% market share last year. And that's growing. They're only in 20 markets, like across all of them, they're only in 20 markets nationwide. But in those markets, they're hard to compete with. So it's essentially a big private equity fund or a private equity funded tech company that is offering basically the Mercedes retail dealership model to homeowners. So if you don't like your home and you don't want to hassle with selling it, you can trade it in. We'll pay you basically not a wholesale amount, but they're paying 80, 90 cents on the dollar or more sometimes. And they've brought that model into home ownership. So people can literally trade their homes in, move into a brand new renovated house, then they'll renovate that house and sell it to the next buyer. So it's hard for a typical wholesaler, typical brokerage. It's going to get harder and harder to stay competitive in your marketplace because they can achieve almost the same retail price, but with all these other conveniences and benefits. Now, that's not to say that it's going to kill the industry. It's going to force innovation in the industry. And people like David, you're always going to be fine because you see it. Like you've already spotted it. You know your X factor. You know you've adjusted your offer. And it sounds like you're kicking their ass already. So it's going to be hard to compete with the practitioners that both in brokerage and in investment. The iBuyers are they're not going to make an impact on the businesses that should survive. The ones, if you're haphazard and you're just doing 12 deals a year because you get lucky and a few people, it's going to cut into that. But people who have really are really systematic in their approach and they're doing the right things for the right reasons, I don't think it's going to affect much. And David, you're great proof of that.
It's just showing up. Most of the people are showing up as employees now too.
Yeah.
If they are looking at the property, they're showing up as an employee, and it's all numbers to these companies. When we show up, it's about that person and their solution and their situation.
Yeah.
We're asking those questions, and then we're getting to know that relationship way deeper than an automated computer system can.
Now, have you had opportunities where you've met with sellers after the iBuyers and gotten feedback from them?
Yeah, and it's always fun to know that they've got those offers and we're 20 cents below what they're suggesting, but they'll always go with us because it's the relationship that wins that deal, typically. Not always, but typically.
Well, that's great. I mean, that's got to be encouraging for everybody out there in those big major markets. Like, I think Maricopa was the epicenter of this trend. Like everyone started in Phoenix, Arizona, basically, and they've picked kind of the top 20 MSAs to focus on. But anyone who's listening or watching, if you're in Orlando or Phoenix or, those markets like that where those folks, I know Charlotte and Raleigh are both, they're hitting it hard there. And I know friends are wholesaling hundreds of deals a year that are getting impacted. But it should be encouraging to all of you, like David's living proof that it doesn't have to be a huge impact, negative impact on your business. It might force you to be more professional and offer a higher level of service, which David did from the beginning. But pay attention. Like if you're doing the right things for the right reasons, you can always stay competitive.
And it just goes back to that same idea that I'm hearing from my business coach is that you got to offer that Top Golf, that Uber Black Car, Apple retail experience to all your clients, even these probate leads. If they've already got their daily lives, they've got their work, and they're usually the PRs are busy with their lives, their family, their careers, that if we could just take this stress off, like you mentioned in the mastery, probate mastery, they tend to lean towards you 100% because you're already involved in their situation.
Yep. And it's a hard habit for both brokerage and investment. It's so hard for people who have already found success. I find with brand new people, like they'll jump right into our system. Like it's a proven, repeatable system that's been tested in every state in the nation. They'll jump in and they'll take off. And kind of pointing a finger at you. I mean, and there's been several people like that have come to us that are high producers already that have killed it in FSBO, expired, absentee, vacant. Like they've been working these different lists so that you know all these variables about the house. You know that there's a motivation to sell. You got like, I'm a realtor, I'm an investor, go straight to the real estate. And those folks just get, just beat to death. And then eventually a lot of folks will come back and say, okay, let's just take the all the leads approach and try this thing. Let's try that service wheel and do it. And it's always that's one of the favorite parts about this whole venture for me is not it's not a told you so, but I'm like, yes, you finally got that. Like, and